Continuing with our angles review, just wanted to, the way we left it was measuring radians. We said that a radian is basically the length of an arc if it equals the same as the radius. That angle subtended would be basically 1 radian. So it's R and R and R together. So if arc A through B, this arc right here, is equal to the radius, then the angle A, O, and B would equal 1 radian. Now it's estimated 1 radian at 57.2958 degrees. Now if we continue with that, the more important thing to consider is the fact that you need to understand what pi is. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a circle best as I can that has a diameter d, and that circumference of that circle, the length of the arc, basically the circle is called the circumference, the outside edge of the circle, that length divided by the diameter is the definition of pi. So we're going to say circumference divided by diameter is equal to pi. And this is a universal constant. If you get asked to define pi, well, you simply know what to do, and that is basically the diameter and the circumference are related by the ratio circumference over diameter is equal to pi. That's a universal constant, 3.14, etc. Now, there's a couple of things that we can do with this. We can say, I'm going to abbreviate it. I'm going to go ahead and continue underneath here. Say the circumference over the diameter is equal to pi. Now, please follow what I'm attempting to do, and that is, if the diameter is the same thing as 2 radii, so from here, from the center to right there is 1 radius, and from the center to right there is the second radius. So 2r is the same as the diameter. So I can translate this equation to be c over 2r instead of the diameter equals to pi. Now, interestingly enough, one of the things that I want you to understand is that the circumference, if I divide it by the radius, in other words, if I bring the 2 to the other side of the equation, I have circumference over the radius is equal to 2 pi. What's the significance of this? Well, the circumference, that length area of the circumference divided by the radius, remember the radius here is basically the arc length giving us a radian. So the circumference divided by the radius is really the number of radians, in a circle. This right here, c over r, is the number of radians in a circle. Think about it. It is the circumference, and we take radian, r. In other words, the distance r, if we divide it, that would equal 2 pi based on this equation. So that leads us to say basically that 2 pi radians is the whole circumference. So we can say 2 pi radians is equal to 360 degrees. So that leads us, I'm going to switch to a darker ink, 1 radian is equal to 360 degrees over 2 pi. If I simplify this equation, 360 divided by 2, that leads us to one of our factors that we can use for changing radians into degrees. So that says that 1 radian is equal to 180 degrees over pi. So this is one of those important conversion factors. Given any number of radians, if I know what 1 is, I can figure out how many degrees it means. So that's an easy one. Now we can take this equation, and then that translates into another one. All I'm going to do is flip it around, so I have 1 degree is equal to pi over 180 radians. The same equation, except I've moved the factor such that I have 1 degree. You can figure the algebra easy enough. So this is the other factor that allows us to convert any number of degrees into radians. So these two are important for you to know. Easy enough to develop, easy enough to use. So these two you need to understand and know. So I think that's the end of the review for angles, and good luck. That's easy. Easy, easy, cheesy. Thank you.